Hey everyone, thank you for watching. Today's video is going to be a new one in my regret series, and today I'm going to be focusing on products that I don't regret not buying. So maybe products that I was interested in, decided not to purchase, and I'm okay with that, or products that I knew right away I'm not interested in that and still I am okay not purchasing that. I will have my regret playlist linked down below if you haven't seen anything in my regret series. I talk about makeups that I regret buying, makeup that I don't regret buying, so on and so forth. So I will have my playlist linked down below. But if you are ready for today's video, why don't we go ahead and get started. Two things, I'm starting to get sick, which is awesome because I am leaving as soon as I get done filming this video for a girls' weekend. So that's great. That's the perfect time to get sick. That's just what I wanted to happen. Perfect. Also, it is pitch dark outside, so I actually have two lights set up in my room right now. So if my lighting is crazy and you hear thunder and rain and the sirens maybe start going off, I'm gonna go downstairs if the sirens start going off. But we have pretty severe weather happening right now, so super fun. Hello, Iowa. Okay, so the first item that I want to talk about was one that I was considering buying, and definitely the YouTube reviews scared me right off, and I was like, never mind, I'm not gonna buy it, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that decision. So this is from Marc Jacobs. It was the Shameless Foundation. It was a $46 foundation. It was like the little fat foundation with like the squeeze tube on it. I was really thinking about it. I like Marc Jacobs Beauty a lot as a brand. I like a lot of the products from the brand, but for whatever reason, there was one thing kind of holding me back, and I said, I haven't had the best luck with the foundations. And to be fair, I had only tried one foundation prior, and it was the Remarkable, but it was like, honestly, it was probably my least favorite foundation that I have ever tried, ever. So I was like, ooh, I don't know what to do. And then I was thinking about purchasing it. I was like, just wait a little bit, watch some reviews come in and see what you have to say. It was a little confusing because there was some reviews from like the bigger YouTubers that were like, this is great, at the same time that they're like with Marc Jacobs on a trip in New York. And I was like, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. And I waited a little bit longer to watch some other reviews come in, and nobody had anything good to say about it. So I was like, never mind, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy it. And I didn't, and honestly, I now hear nobody using that foundation. I don't hear anybody talking about that foundation. So I'm like, that was a good $46 that I saved. So that is one that I do not regret not buying. And the next item that I want to talk about is the Colourpop Lux Lipsticks. I was really thinking about buying these. I think they're like $7 or $8, so they're affordable, and they're just like a regular bullet lipstick. I decided not to purchase them, and it was one of those things where I was like, I have plenty of lipsticks, but also when I order from Colourpop, I try to do like bulk orders because you get free shipping on $30, but everything's really inexpensive, and I just kind of wait until there's a bunch of products that I want. And then I do it that way instead of just like really wanting one thing and then adding a bunch of other things that I don't really need just for the free shipping, because that's the way I live my life. I want free shipping. So I always kind of wait. Like I just did a Colourpop try and haul the other day, and there's quite a few items that I purchased in there. I'll have that video linked down too if you want to see it. So I just couldn't get myself to order just a lipstick from the Colourpop website. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I actually had Babs Beauty, who's a YouTuber here. She sent me a box, which was super sweet of her. It was full of like lipsticks and lashes and all these really nice things. She knew that we were going through a tough time when my husband lost his job back in January. And she was so like, we talk on like Snapchat and things like that, and she's so nice. And she said that, you know, she has so much stuff and she really wanted to send me a package, which was freaking awesome. So I appreciated that so much. And in there she had a couple of the Colourpop lipsticks, and I was like, oh, I was going to buy these. I wanted to try these out, like, thank you. And I tried them, and I've talked about them a bit on my channel, so this probably doesn't have to be a long-winded thing. But basically what I found is that I don't feel like the formula is consistent across the lipsticks, and a lot of people have said that as well. One I tried was super creamy, one I tried was more matte, one was in the middle, and I was just like, what? Because I would have been really angry. They're supposed to be a matte lipstick in a bullet form. I would be really angry if I was like a huge matte lipstick lover, which I love matte liquid lipsticks, but regular lipsticks typically are not my thing. But I would have been mad like if that's the formula I wanted, and I went and ordered like 6 lipsticks and they all came to me creamy or like kind of creamy, kind of matte. I would have been like, what? So I'm kind of glad that I didn't purchase them, because that would have frustrated me, but it was still really nice to have those in the package so then I could review them. But I just thought that was really interesting. And also I was talking about it one time, I can't remember which video it was in, that I said something about that. And someone actually commented and was like, can we really expect all lipsticks to be the same from a line? And I'm like, yeah, how, like, she was like angry at me that it was something that I was upset about. I'm like, how does that even make any sense? If I'm purchasing a matte lipstick and it comes to me creamy, I'm gonna be mad because that's not what I bought. Like, yes, I expect them to be the same. Like, what, is that a weird thing? I didn't think it was that weird, but apparently some people think that's reaching too far. Next up, I want to talk about the Kat Von D 10-year anniversary eyeshadow palette. So she had a full collection, or a pretty full collection, I believe, coming out, but she was also releasing an eyeshadow palette. I talked about it in a Will I Buy It video. These regret videos are kind of like follow-ups to my Will I Buy It. You know, for this one, I'm talking about products that I put in the Will I Buy It videos and, you know, maybe I was kind of back and forth on. Now I'm kind of giving you the follow-up. You know, for this one, I don't regret not buying it. You know, maybe another one I'll say, I regret not buying that one, or I do regret buying that one. You know what I'm saying? So I'll have my Will I Buy It playlist linked down below. I post those videos every single week, and then these and the regret series is kind of my follow-up to those videos. So I just wanted to point that out because sometimes people ask me, will I do follow-ups to the Will I Buy It videos? And I'm like, pretty much what my regret series is. So just so you know. But I mentioned it before we really had a good photo of the palette. We didn't have a price yet. We just kind of had like one of those sneak peek photos, but I was like, I'm kind of feeling it. I'm kind of interested in it. I know a lot of people have liked a lot of Kat Von D's, you know, eyeshadow palettes in the past. You know, I was thinking of like the Mi Vida Loca and things like that. So I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll get it. And someone did ask me if I would then follow up with that after we had the full palette and the full price, and she asked if I would put it in a Will I Buy It video. And I did film it, and I had it ready to go for a Will I Buy It video, and as I was editing it, the whole anti-vax thing came out. So I actually just ended up cutting it out of my Will I Buy It video. I hadn't exported it to my desktop yet. I hadn't uploaded it to YouTube. I was still in the process of editing it in my editing software program. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to cut it out. Because I was like, I could have put a comment in there like, hey, I'm filming this before that came out type thing. And I was like, I'm just not even going to bother with it. I'm just going to cut the whole thing out and we'll just keep rolling. So what I had said in that video that I ended up cutting out that part was that I decided against it. I wasn't going to purchase it. And actually that a lot of people talked me out of it in the comments on my Will I Buy It video, and this was before the anti-vax. A lot of people talked me out of it. You know, you have similar shades. The Saint and Sinner eyeshadow palette that Kat Von D did, you know, there's similar shades in there. Like, you don't need it. It's limited edition. It was going to be $52 for a 16pan eyeshadow palette. So I really had a lot of those comments to thank, because once I started reading all those, I was like, you don't need it, girl. Like, you're good. And, you know, I love the Saint and Sinner palette. When's the last time I pulled that out? It's been a while. So I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going to get it. So that is one that I don't regret not buying. I do think it would have been expensive, and I do think that I wouldn't have reached for it as much. You know, it's got a lot of these really colorful shades in there, but it's not anything that's like too scary for me. I'm not a big colorful girl, but it's not anything too scary for me. I think I could have made some looks for it, but I bet that it would have been one that just wasn't a favorite of mine. I could have seen it like sitting on my shelf for a while, but then of course, you know, I have been getting asked, will I address the Kat Von D thing? And I'm really not going to get into it too much because I know there's already so many videos about it, and, you know, people have been talking about it like crazy. But I will say that I'm incredibly disappointed. On a personal note, we're a family who has dealt with things like this. And so to hear something about like not vaccinating kids, it's a really, like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So it was super disappointing to hear that. And to hear someone with, you know, such a huge platform say something like that, it just, it just sucks. After it came out, and I didn't see it for like 2 days or something, and finally someone started messaging me, asking me about the Kat Von D thing, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And I thought maybe they meant like her wedding, because like her wedding photos were like so like over the top and crazy, so I was trying to find it, and then I did, and I was like, oh, no, why? And I had a really long discussion with my husband about it the night that it happened. We were kind of going through everything, and I was like, you know what, maybe the good thing that can come from this is that more people will be educated on what it means and looking into it for themselves and all of that. You know, maybe that can be something good that comes from this, is someone who does have a big voice, who does have a big platform, said something, and maybe a lot of us think that it's not right or it's the wrong decision and all of that, but maybe other people out there really didn't know, or didn't know why it's a big deal, or didn't know you know, everything behind it, and you know, maybe they can do their own research now and be a little bit more informed. So hopefully something good comes from it, but that was super disappointing. So that sucked. So yeah, and now I'm really glad that I didn't buy that palette, because you're probably not going to see me feature a whole lot of Kat Von D on my channel, because it's something that's a personal matter to us. So. Alrighty, so let's move on. I didn't want to stay on that one for too long, because I know everybody has really strong opinions on that, but I do too. So moving on, I am really glad that I didn't purchase this from the Smashbox and Vlada collaboration. The highlights that they came out with, so they did a full collection, and of course I touched about it in a Will I Buy It video, and I was most interested in the highlights. The packaging looked so cool. I mean, the whole collection looked really cool, but I was really interested in the highlight, and I started seeing people reviewing it, and I was like, ooh, I'm glad I didn't get that, because I think it was like $39 for one highlight, which is super pricey. Like, I complain about Becca's $38 highlighters being expensive, and so I'm like, $39, like, eh. And a lot of people were saying, like, they just weren't great. Like, for a $39 highlight, I really want something that's gonna be like, boom. You know, I don't want something subtle that you can easily get. Like, I want something that's special, that's over the top, that's beautiful. Like, that's what I want when I think of a $39 highlight. So when a lot of people are saying that they were very soft, you really had to build them up, you really had to work with them, I was like, ooh, I'm glad that I didn't purchase that, because that would have been sad. But did anybody buy the Vlada and Smashbox highlights, and what do you think of them? Do you like them? Do you not? Do you regret it? So another collection that I'm glad that I skipped over anything that was in there is the collab between Jennifer Lopez and Inglot. I didn't really hear a lot about the collection. I know some people, like I saw some people that purchased some products. I saw some people that got items in PR, and it was just one of those things where, like, it was like crickets when it came out. I feel like at least for me personally, I did not really see anybody talking about it, using it. I still don't see anybody mentioning it, like, I got this JLo Inglot, and a lot of those items were pretty darn pricey, so there wasn't a ton that really called out to me from the collection, but I was still like, I don't know, like, should this be the time I try Inglot? I'm not sure. I like Jennifer Lopez. I think she's like a woman crush for me for sure. Like, she's so talented in so many different ways, and she's so hardworking. Like, she's really, you know, someone to look up to, but I was like, I'm probably gonna pass over that collection. And now seeing that, like, no one's talking about it, I'm like, probably for the best. Probably for the best. I have just two left to chat about. So the next one is from Dose of Colors, and it's their Block Party single eyeshadows. So Dose of Colors recently released all these single eyeshadows. I don't know for sure how many colors they came out with, but they were $20 each for a single shadow. Now, they looked really cool. The swatches looked really cool. I was watching a bunch of people make their looks in YouTube videos, and it looked really cool. But $20 for a single shadow to me is so expensive when I can buy a palette for that much. I can buy a palette for less than that much and just have more shades in there. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it. And I really like Dose of Colors. I especially like their eyeshadow palettes. I especially like their liquid lipsticks. But I was like, this one I just don't think I can do. And really, I feel like a lot of people were on the same wavelength as me. I feel like I haven't really seen a whole lot of people that have gone out and purchased them. Like, I just feel like we're all kind of like, that's expensive. No. So I'm okay with not purchasing that one. And then the last one that I have to chat about is the new palette it's the Atlantis palette from, is it Face Candy that came out with it? So it's the Face Candy, I can't remember if it's Face Candy or Bad Habit, but basically it's kind of like the dupe brands, and you can find them on Shop Hush. And so they came out with the Atlantis palette, and it was a dupe for a palette that doesn't even exist, for the Tarte Icy Betch, their April Fool's palette. So they did it, and it was a bunch of like blues and greens, and it was super beautiful. And I was talking about it fairly recently in the Will I Buy It video, and I was like, I'm thinking about getting it, you know, just to have a palette with all those colors in it could be pretty cool. And the day that it released, I actually went to purchase it, but you could only buy it from the app. Like, you couldn't actually buy it on shophush.com. You had to do the app on your phone. I don't have the app on my phone. I don't want to put the app on my phone. I don't like shopping through my phone. like I just, like when I check out at like Sephora and Ulta, it's always on my computer. I don't shop on my phone. That's just opening up like a whole can of worms for me, you know? Like I'm on my phone enough, I'm on my social media enough, and now also if I'm gonna be shopping from my phone, that's just dangerous. I don't want to do that. So I was like, never mind. And so I didn't do it, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll just watch some reviews. And so far the reviews have not been very positive. Like I've seen a few positive ones, but for the most part I feel like people are saying that they just don't have a lot of pigment to them. There's a bunch of fallout to them. Like people are just seeming to be not very impressed with the Atlantis palette. So I'm like, I'm glad I didn't get the app just for that palette. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay that I passed over the Atlantis palette. You'll have to let us know, did you pick it up? I know a lot of people were excited for it. So you'll have to let us know what you thought of the Atlantis palette. But other than that, that's gonna do it for all of the makeup that I don't regret not buying. Alright guys, so that is everything for today's video, chatting over some of the makeup products that I said no to, and I am still okay with that. You'll have to let me know in the comments, do you have any makeup recently that maybe you were thinking about getting and you somehow talked yourself out of it and you don't regret it? Let us know in the comments. I apologize for my voice, I apologize for the lighting. I'm gonna go take some medicine and drink a bunch of water before I head out on the road, so thank you for sticking with me. If you guys did enjoy this video or you found it entertaining in some way, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope that you'll also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys in tomorrow's video.